Everybody seems to come away healthy from last night. We're getting ready to go. I'm a little bit late because we're doing a community service thing up there. Where we're stocking some stuffings for some kids that are doing some things for the Heart Gallery and doing some things with the players up there. But big challenge coming up. Good team. Going to be in the top 10, I'm sure, real soon, and had a big win against Pitt last night. So got a lot of respect for Matt. It's a good chance to get Sam back home and a botch. They both play at Lalomere, back up that way. And Tim's from Chicago, so it helps us. And we got to recruit from there. And then Cullen was born a couple hours away, and then I grew up in Indiana, so it's a good chance for us to go back there and play a game. And it's been good for us in recruiting over the years. So they're really talented. They got a fifth-year graduate senior and Johnny Hills as a point guard, kind of like Octius that played for him last year that was at Colorado State. So Matt does a good job. They're hard-nosed. They played hard. They guard you. Tough place to play. And then Rafael Davis has been out with a knee injury. I don't know if he'll play, but he played for Huss at Lalomere, so we know him. And then Vince Edwards played for him last year. And then, of course, we might have been one of the first teams ever to offer Swanigan when we recruited him, so we know how good he is. And then they have Haas in the middle, who's really, really good. And then Hammonds is coming off the bench, who a year ago everybody thought he was going to go in a draft. So tough challenge and good test for our guys, but that's what we wanted to do. So it'll be a unique experience for everybody to go back and see a lot of people, family and friends and all that, and then it'll be a good challenge for our team. I don't know if you stop them. I think you got to contain the other guys. You know, they got a bunch of bench players that are really good. Everett Stevens' son that was a heck of a player right after I played in college with Troy Lewis at Purdue. His son plays, and Mathis started for him a lot of games last year, three-point shooters. I think you just got to limit. You can't let 5 or 6 guys hurt you, and you know you're going to get hurt by 2 or 3. So, you know, we'll just try to play them as well as we can and hope they don't make a lot of shots.
You guys, for a lot of years now, have been a team that other teams try and maybe throw more guards out there and
Mm-hmm.
maybe outrun the Kirks and Bairstow, the two big men set, and
Mm-hmm.
try and punish you guys that way. Is there a little bit of a role reversal when they have so many bigs this time? Are you going to try and outrun them, outrun their bigs?
I don't think they'll. I mean, we're the same size as them. I don't think there's much difference in our size. I mean, I don't.
We'll try and go size versus size, and we'll try and keep them.
Yeah, I mean that's who we start. I mean we're 7'1" and they're 7'2", and they're 6'9" and we're 6'8". So, I mean, we're playing big, and that's the way we'll play. And Joe will play, and Nick will play a little bit more, just because we're playing a more conventional team that has bigs. So, I don't think we'll do that.
How much do you think, like last night, the high shooting in the beginning and stuff like that, and the young guys that you have on the team, how much is that as far as helping them confidence wise and all that?
I don't think it helps them confidence wise. I think it helps them when they do well. It's just hard when you don't play a lot of minutes and you don't get a lot of chances. So that's the hardest thing. And you know, I wanted to play Anthony and Jordan a little bit more, but when they made their run, it wasn't the time or place to play those guys. And I gave Nick an opportunity, but when you get an opportunity, you have to do something productive. If you can't do something productive on the defensive end and you don't do anything productive on the offensive end, then you can't play. I mean, if you look at our plus minuses the last 2 games, you know, I know they're not playing that much, but their minuses there's not a lot of pluses. So they've got to take advantage of the opportunities. Like, you know, we've had guys in the years past. I mean, you know, you can go back to our really good team when we won 27 games. You can go back when we were 30-5. Guys that came off the bench made positive influences on the game. Jordan Hunter made a positive influence on the game. It just wasn't the right time and place to put him in there, and it was the right time and place to play Tim Jacobs. That's why I get paid to coach. So, I mean, I have to make those decisions, and I make them. But you know, some of those guys have got to learn a little bit quicker, and I think they have. I think I thought Anthony did some good things, but you know, it's time and place and time and possession.
Coach, I know you have a tournament later this year with some really good teams, but in the non-conference schedule, is this the toughest team you'll face?
In the non-conference, yeah, this will be the toughest team. Besides, if you meet up with Oklahoma, I'm sure. But I mean, anytime you play a top 10 team and a team like they're capable of winning the Big Ten, um, it's probably the best team we've played by far. So it might be the best team we've played in a while. I'm going back to last year. I don't think we played anybody that was a top 10 team. Did we play anybody that's top 10 last year? I don't think we did. Cincinnati was 8 2 years ago, but they were good. But this team's really good. We got a lot of good players, so it's a good opportunity for us.
Collins said after the game yesterday that he obviously had a good offensive performance, but he was pleased with his defensive improvement, at least in the first half. Would you agree with that?
I think the biggest thing with Cullen's improvement defensively is if he has an assignment that you specifically give him, he's really, really good. If you don't specifically give him an assignment, sometimes he gets bored, not real focused, and then he tends not to guard the way he's capable of guarding. He took 3 charges. I don't think he's taken 3 charges his whole high school career. So, he took 3 last night, and I think he was very helpful for our play, the way we wanted to play. And he did the same thing at Loyola when he had an assignment. He did the same thing when we played Boise State when he was a freshman when he had to guard Drimmick. So when you give him an assignment and tell him specifically what you want out of him defensively, he's pretty good.
What do you feel like you guys are doing well that encourages you as you get ready to go on and stuff like that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're able to score the ball, so it gives you some encouragement. I think anytime you have a big guy that's shooting 56% from the field and doing what he's doing and very capable of doing it every night, you feel good about that because you have somebody to throw it to. I think, Obats didn't show up that much in the game stats, which I kind of said it last night because he got 4 fouls and we had to take him out. But, Owens to hold him to 2 points when he's coming in averaging like 17, I think, and a big inside presence for them was a key factor for get us going last night. So I think he's really improved. I think those guys are improved. I think Joe played really, really good last night, except for 2 ill-advised shots, but that's part of learning.
When you look at the matchups you've had this year, some of the big guys having to chase everyone around, now going against size, how do you feel they're going to be defensively, especially when they start to position themselves in place?
It'll be interesting, JJ. It'll be interesting just the sense that this is going to be the first time besides the New Mexico State game that we've really played true bigs. And the last time that happened, we got in foul trouble. So I think the biggest thing with our learning curve and how we're going to get better is if they're going to be able to guard without fouling, because you can't put them on the line. They're averaging like 22 free throw makes a game. So you don't want to put them on the line. So it'll be interesting how we handle that.
What's your history with Matt Ingram?
We've known each other for a long time. I mean, we both grew up in Indiana. When you grow up in Indiana and you play basketball, you kind of know everybody. So, I've known him for a long time. Spent a lot of time with him on the Nike trips when I've been on the Nike trips the last 3 years. So, I've spent time with him. I've known him since he was a high school player, and my dad being a high school coach, we knew a lot of people.
Tim's got 3 double-doubles in the last 3 games. Are you happy with his progression?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think he's playing. I always think he can play better. I mean, that's just a coach in me, but I'm happy with him. I mean, I kind of knew he could do it. I kind of always thought he was going to be that type of player. He's just unique. Well, I mean, it's not holding you back. It's kind of like watching Darrington play. When Darrington was here, you never thought that he was playing very hard. You never thought he was giving you everything he had. You never thought he was playing with any urgency. And then you look at the stat sheet and you win a lot of games and he put a lot of numbers up. And I think Tim's the same way. I think he just kind of goes through it and he is what he is. And you're not going to get a lot out of practice and you're not going to get a lot. But when it comes game time, he gets it done. And that's just the way he plays, and that's his personality. So, I think as a coach, you just accept that, and we've accepted that for a long time, and we know what he is, and we know what he's going to be, and we got great respect for that, and think he's going to be a big time player.
I don't think you realized it until I think I heard it during Robert's interview with you. But how are you feeling? Having to get an IV and do that before a game.
I just did it again, so I'm not feeling much better. So it's 2 days in a row I've had to do that. So I just got done getting more IVs. So hopefully they'll find out what's wrong with me, but it's just part of it. But I'm not going to miss any games, and I'm not going to miss any practice time because that's what I do it for. So I'm feeling better, but I think I'm just going through it. And when you don't sleep and you don't rest and you don't eat right, you get run down. It just happens. So
Everybody else is still kind of getting better.
I think everybody. I think Elijah. I think Elijah is battling the cough. I think his became a respiratory deal after his first bout. I think his has become a cough that's bothering him and bothering his breathing. Sam, I think is well. I think he did an unbelievable job defensively last night, being able to play without really fouling a lot, like every. But I thought he did a great job for a guy that was sick and missed 2 days, and I didn't think he was going to play, and didn't know until they gave me the okay to play him after he saw the doctor. So I thought he did a great job. I guess he's feeling well. He looked good while he was stuffing stockings upstairs. So I know more at 6, but he looks good. He's never the thing about Sam is he's never going to say anything's wrong with him. I mean, you can ask him how he's feeling. What do you think of your play? And he's just happy-go-lucky guy. Doesn't say a lot, and just a great kid. But I think everybody's fine.
Were you feeling a little dehydrated or something like that as far as taking IVs?
Yeah, they're just trying to get me to get back. I have not been very hydrated, and I've been sick, so they're just trying to get me back to where I can fly and do some things. So I feel better.
Is getting back to the Indiana area, Valpo, Cincinnati, St. Louis in recent years, Indiana State, is that something you're going to kind of make the norm?
Yeah, because I think the biggest thing is we've done well recruiting there. There's a lot of schools in that area, but we have a lot of great connections there, and we've got a lot of good players out of there. I mean, with having Allen on my staff that started a program that's now a national prominent prep school, or he's not really a prep school, but a type situation. I think that helps us, and with our relationships with people. Kids are willing to send him to us, and that's why we were able to get Damien. Not only just because his dad played here, but I just think we recruited him. And then we got Tim Williams, so we had DD. I mean, we've been able to, it started with DeReese, so we've been able to get some guys.
Do you have anything locked up for next year already?
For scheduling?
Yeah, in that area, in the Midwest area?
No, we haven't, because I don't know, to be honest with you, Jeff, I don't know if we're going to have any games. I mean, we're replacing USC with Arizona, and we're replacing this game basically with UTEP. So,
You owe road for the Missouri Valley.
yeah, we'll play on the road, so that our schedule will be basically done. So most of them will be bye games here. I think we only have to get 3 games, but we're going to try to get an exempt game from the Wooden deal. Try to get one of those guys to come play here. Try to work that, but I don't know if that'll work.
Is the Missouri Valley situation one that you can even maybe put a request into?
You can always do that, but that doesn't usually. I think if you talk to Dave Rice, I don't think his request was well heard. So I think it is what it is. We just know we're going to have a road game, and we'll do it. But they're just trying to match it up the best they can. So, I mean, I was a little, to be honest with you, when we got Loyola, I was a little worried because they had all those guys coming back. We just came out and played well. We just have to get, and I challenged our guys. We haven't done it since '96. We haven't done it since we've been here. If you can go through, if you can try to win every home game, you're going to be in the NCAA tournament. It's never been done since '96, I think. I think '96 was the last time it's been done twice. So, that's the one thing I've challenged our guys. If you can win all your home games, you'll have a chance to have a heck of a year. And I think that should be a goal. We got to get back to where this place is hard to play in, and I think it's become hard to play in. And I think that's why we were able to play well last night. And they were a dangerous team, and Loyola was a dangerous team. And then we got Northern Iowa coming in here, New Mexico State. I mean Rice. We got some teams coming in here that are dangerous. That we got to get back to where this is a hard place to play, and that's you're not going to win when you come in here.
You talked about getting some good players out of that area.
Right.
Have you noticed that the more you guys go there and play a game or do anything in that area, that the New Mexico brand is getting known?
Yeah, I think people know us because it started with Steve. Everybody knows Steve in Indiana. I mean, he's like, he was Mr. Basketball when we played in Indiana, had a prominent career. But then we just know so many people. But I think they know that we're out here. I think the one thing that's very similar for us is the passion and fanfare that goes along with Indiana basketball and also high school basketball here and high school, college basketball here is very similar. The passion for it, and I think high school's very similar. The only thing that's different is there's a lot more high schools in Indiana than there are here, but the the interest and how important it is to people is very similar being back home.
Everyone is focusing on the size. Purdue's been shooting the ball very well from the outside.
They can really shoot it.
Those perimeter players.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you're gonna have to pick your poison. Are we gonna? The hard thing is when you go double those guys, they're so big they can see and make good passes. They got good shooters. I think they start a defensive team, and what I mean with their guards, I think that's a really defensive-minded starting five. I think when they come off the bench with Mathis and Stevens, I think those guys can really shoot the ball, and I think they're coming in to shoot it and score the ball. So you just got to find them in transition. I think the last game really helped us with that because one thing that we tried to do, and we did limit it to some extent. In transition, we tried to run wide with their shooters so that they couldn't get transition threes, and I thought we did a really good job because Oral Roberts has been getting a lot of transition threes, and I thought we did a good job with that. So I think that's going to help us going into the Purdue game.
How similar are the two teams offensively with the
With Oral Roberts
no,
and
no, 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 no.
our teams,
I know you guys are doing the two bigs, kind of three guards,
right?
but that doesn't necessarily mean you guys are similar. Are you guys offensively?
We run a lot of similar stuff, a lot of similar actions. They run a little bit more motion like you would see in Indiana high school basketball. The way Purdue played when Coach Katie was there, when Matt played there. They run a little motion. They run a lot of sets, but they try to pound it inside. And we've been trying to do that, and I think we're doing a better job of pounding it inside. But I think, it's just interesting to see how our team's evolving. But I think they're figuring it out a little bit.
Defensively, how tough are they going to be to try to continue to score in the fast pace?
Our team.
Your team going against their team.
It's going to be hard because they guard. The one thing that is unique is they don't press, so I won't be able to sleep. I'll be able to sleep a little bit more, but no, we'll work on it today. But they're not a real pressing team. They're a tough nosed team. They get out in the passing lanes. They do some things that way. But I think the biggest thing that's going to be a challenge for us is the physicality. And I think it'll get us ready for teams like UNLV and San Diego State and Boise and Colorado State, teams that play that way. So it's just one of those games that I think will help. And let's face it, the Big Ten plays differently than our league. And it's just like the ACC plays differently than the Big Ten, and each league's different. So, being in the Big Ten for the years that I was at Iowa, it's different, and Chris was in it with Nebraska. So, it'll be a tough game, and see how mentally tough our guys are and how hard they play.
In terms of seeing the press and then getting out with
Mm-hmm.
the win, how valuable is that in the early stage of the season? Is it to get that?
Well, I don't want to go through what we went through, but it'll
just have to-
definitely be a learning, definitely a learning deal. So hopefully we can get through it. It's just tough. The teams that we had over the years, and even the team. My first year when we were 27-7, what people didn't realize that when we got pressed, that we played Cullen, Hugh, and Kendall together, and we didn't play DD. And that we had three ball handlers on the floor. When we had Tony Snell, who was our three, who was 6'8", he was like having a 6'8" point guard. And now with Sam and X being that other guard, we don't have three ball handlers. And when they went four guards last night, it was easy for me just to make the adjustment to put Tim Jacobs in. It gives us the third ball handler and still keep Sam on the floor. But if that happens again, then we'll do it and have three ball handlers. But Sam and X, and I thought Dane would definitely be one of those guys because Dane can really handle the ball, but he just hadn't found his flow yet. He hadn't found his rhythm yet. So those guys got to learn how to handle the ball a little bit better and handle pressure. But in years past, we've always used three ball handlers, and we were just fortunate with those good teams that Tony was able to handle the ball. And when we had the 27-17 my first year, we just put Cullen in, and we had basically 3-point guards in because Hugh could guard anybody. So that's the way we were able to do it. And then before that, we had Jamal. So, if we got in a bind, we threw Jamal out there, and he did what he had to do. So that's just what we've done in the past.
Coach, is there something that you could tell at Bosch how important we need him against Purdue? With him getting in foul trouble so fast this last game, I don't know, were you a little concerned, or was it maybe a couple of the officials' calls that were maybe bad? I just think
No, I think he's done okay. I just think he knows how valuable he is. He's excited because there's going to be a lot of people, that he was brought over here, and first place he went was Indiana. So he has a lot of people there, and his guardian was there at the time, and so they're still there, and there's a lot of people there that he knows. So he's excited. He just knows he's got to stay out of foul trouble. I think the biggest thing with him is he uses his hands too much, and he doesn't use his athletic ability enough. And he's not going to win a physical war a lot of the times. He's got to use his feet, and he's learning to do that, and he's been better. It's some of the fouls he got last night were fouls, and he's got to learn how to play and not get into foul trouble. Then he had the problem that we're finding out with these new rules is like, okay, there's calls for moving screens, but we have to do a better job of getting there earlier and setting them. But I just don't. It's like I was talking to somebody about it. I don't understand how you can call a moving screen where you don't hit anybody. Yeah, you're moving, but if you don't hit them, it's not a foul. So, yeah, I mean, I understand that part of it, but we've got to do a better job, and we've been talking to our guys and showing them a lot of film where they got to do their work earlier. They got to get down to the screens and the screen areas earlier and get their feet set. That's what's hurting him. He just gets there late.
Just curious about what's the maximum offer?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. I think he has till after Christmas. I think he won't get the mask off till after Christmas, and who knows with he might keep it on the whole year. I mean, it might be his security deal. So
Notice the difference in contacts at all?
I definitely have. People think I'm crazy about it, but it was so funny because it happened the other day at practice, and you guys were there, and I yelled at Corey that he needed to get Sam to see if he needed his check too, because he was missing some passes and stuff. So, but that's one thing that people don't take. I mean, I can tell. I've been around my son long enough that I can tell when his changes, and I've been able to know when his changes, and we've had to change his out because you can just tell. And one thing that doesn't get checked a lot is guys when they come in here, their eyes. And a lot of guys come in here from situations where they've never had the opportunity to even get checked. So that's one thing that's going to be on our radar to make sure we check them.
It does help when you can see.
Well, I mean, there's been some kids that went to college and played a first year and they couldn't see out of their left eye or couldn't see out of their right eye. There's been guys like that, and it's one thing it makes a big difference when you can focus and see a little bit better. He's definitely catching the ball better. If you guys haven't noticed, he's catching it better.
Coach Logwood, he never showed the emotion. He had a couple calls that he just eyed the referee big time for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there a reason why? I mean, twice in the game he.
Well, I think what Sam's got to realize is he's a sophomore, and Obi has played the game, and he's very crafty. And what Sam doesn't understand, they always get the second one. They don't get the first one, but they always get the second one. He can't figure out why they can never see the first one. And I go, Sam, that's what you got to learn. I said, you're learning a lesson now that you have to use, and you got to get better at it. And he understands, but young guys don't understand when you're always going to get caught on the second one.